Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The presentation today is about fire safety. We will discuss general rules and the concepts about fire safety and what we have to do. I recommend you to read carefully this presentation because it's important for every single healthcare giver inside a healthcare facility. Even admin people should know about it. So let's talk about facts. The most important or most big events related to fires in the healthcare facilities reported all over the world would be in Calcutta in India in 2011. We have 19 casualties, 19 deaths and around 70 injured people. Then another one in China in 2005. This could be the second one in ranking. Whereas 4 levels from the hospital are destroyed and 39 people killed and more than 180 people injured and admitted to the hospital. And we have here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is the third one in Jizan Hospital, and I think it had a lot of injuries and deaths, more than 105. A lot of those injured people have a serious injury. This is written in Sabq in December 24, 2015. I took it from the SAP website itself. And this is the picture of the hospital that days. It was a very bad day inside the kingdom. So it's a very important issue to know about, and how can you fight and how can you deal with the fires inside your healthcare facility. So we have to know that for any fire to be established, we have a fire triangle. 3 issues, 3 corners for the fire to be there. 3 components of any fire. Number 1, the fuel. Fuel should be something like paper, like wood, like flammable gases, energized electrical equipment, and so on. And we should have an energy, meaning heat, sufficient to support combustion, often referred to as the ignition source. And number 3, we have to have air oxidizer. We have to have oxygen that can maximize and increase the fire itself. If any one of those 3 is missing, the fire cannot continue. It will be self-limited and it will be stopped by itself. So this is the fire triangle, what we need for a fire to become established. So by fighting the 3 corners, we can stop any fire. What are the classes of fires? We have Class A fires, involve ordinary combustible materials such as paper, wood, clothes, rubber, and plastic materials. We have Class B fire. Class B fire involve flammable or combustible liquids and flammable gases, greases inside kitchens, and similar materials, and some rubber and plastic materials. Class C fires involve energized electrical equipment caused by electrical sources, where the safety to employee require the use of electrical conductive extinguishing media. And we have Class D fire, that involving the combustible metal such as magnesium, titanium, chromium, sodium, lithium, and potassium. Another class of the fire, which is Class K. It's a newly one or a modified one, which is related to kitchen grease and oil fires. It have a significant risk in the area, and we have to avoid splashing on those areas, because splashing with the grease, it can give a fire. Never pick up a burning pan of grease. Don't catch it with your hands. Never do it. And there is a special fire extinguisher for those class of fires. What are the basic requirements to avoid and deal with any fire? We have some issues. We have to prepare ourselves. We have to prepare inside the facility to avoid or to deal with the fire or to stop this fire. We have to have exit routes, must be adequate in number and not obstructed by anything. We have to have an exit, and those exits must be separated by a fire resistant material. It can resist fire for some time until we will do our plan and we will do our evacuation. We have to have opening into exit must be limited. We don't have to have a lot of exits to those openings that we can get out from. The number of the exit must be adequate according to the number of the people working in the facility. We have to have exit charge must lead directly to outside the building. Don't give me an exit that lead me to inside the facility, so I will be still in danger. The exit must be discharged me outside the hostel in an opened area to avoid the smoke and the fire. Exit door must be unlocked from inside. We have to just push it from inside, it will open directly. So we cannot put a locker or a key or something like this, because at the time of the fire we don't have to search for the key. We have to just push it and go outside. People should be well trained to deal with any kind of fires. We have to have patent systems even for fire alarm or fire suppression system, and those systems must be patented and checked periodically and doing PPM for them, the periodic maintenance. We have to have a plans, and those plans should be updated, implemented, and monitored. This is an example for a fire exit. It should be unobstructed and should be patent, should be fire resistant exits. We have to have emergency action plans. We have to do some procedure for reporting a fire, how to alarm, how to notify this is a fire, how to do emergency evacuation inside our facility. Employee who remains to operate critical area before the evacuate, who have to stay to fight the fire and should be trained well to do this. Accounting for all employee and patient after evacuation, what we have to do after the evacuation. This is a simple draw for an evacuation plan. You have to have this map. This map is called "You Are Here," what you have to do. And those are the elements of the fire. You have to have a system, you have to have an exit doors, you have to have an extinguishers, you have to have a fire suppression system, fire alarm system, how to call, who will do it, who's responsible for it, what kind of teams that have to become when they are called to stop the fire or fight the fire. An emergency action plan must be in writing, kept in workplace, available to everyone. We have to establish the plan, we have to make it available for all people working in the establishment, and we have to train them all what to do. However, if we have an establishment that containing only 10 or fewer, we have to communicate it with them orally through orientation and through education. But my recommendation is keep a written plan, updated plan, and everyone should be accessible to it. He can reach it, he can read it, he can deal with the fire according to the written plan. What about training? An employer must designate and train employees to assist in a safe and orderly evacuation for other employees. We have to train people very well what to do in case of fire. This is the training. We have to have a lot of training sessions, theoretically and even practically. We have to collect people and show them how to deal with the fire, how to evacuate on a board or on a Zoom meeting, and we have to do it practically. We have to collect some wood, some paper, something, and train people how to use the fire extinguishers. Common protocols and procedure. When we have fire, we have to do two simple things. Every single staff working in a healthcare facility should know about two words, raise and pass. It's a concept. It's a shortcut for some words. R for rescue. You have to rescue people as soon as you are healthy and you are not injured or affected by the fire. So start to rescue the old people, the sick people, the people with some gaits, the child, the old aged, the woman. You have to start to rescue them. You have to rescue every single one you can. Number two, you have to alarm. Switch on the alarm system to tell people that we have a fire in that place. And this alarm system is connected to a table or a panel it can tell the people where the fire is, what's the zone containing the fire. C, we have to contain or confine the fire. If the fire is one place or one room or one department, we have to switch the door after evacuation, close the doors, and put a wet towel or curtain or something under the door so the smokes will never come out to us. So now we contain or confine it in places or rooms. Then at last we have to extinguish or evacuate the people and use the fire extinguishers. So number one, trace. R for rescue, A for alarm, C for contain or confine, E for extinguish or evacuate. The other word is pass. Pass referring to P, how to use the fire extinguishers. Number one, P, pull the pin. The pin is the safety of the fire extinguisher. You cannot use it without pulling the pin. So P, pulling the pin. A, aim low, means you have to aim to the base of the fire. You can stop fire from continuing by aiming the suppression material to the floor of the fire, not the middle, not the top of the fire. S, squeeze the lever or the plunger so the extinguisher material will go out and stop the fire, and sweep from one side to one side. This is a fire extinguisher, and you can see here the blue one is the pin. You have to remove it because the safety. If you remove the pin, the fire extinguisher is ready to work now. As we said, A for aiming, P for pulling the pin, A for aiming, S for squeeze, and S for sweep from one side to one side. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. What's the fire prevention goals? Why we have to stop a fire? Our goal is life safety. We are protecting the lives of patients, visitors, employees, everyone inside the healthcare facility. Two, we are protecting the property itself, the facility itself. C, protection of the operations. What's going on, what's the contents of healthcare facility. Prevention is based on eliminating or minimizing one of the components of the fire triangle. If you remember, we said that we have three components of the fire, and all our effort is to stop one or all of the three components of the fire triangle. For prevention, other fire prevention methods include the heat and the smoke detectors. We have to detect them. We have to do ppm for them. So the fire or the heat or the fire smoke detectors, if they are working well, they will alarm you that take care, there is something wrong in that place. Automatic fire sprinkler system should be working and in a good conditions, so it's automatically start to stop the fire. Kitchen hood system, building codes and material, flame retardant, furnishing and materials. So how to stop the fire through this one? As you see here in the ceiling, this is the fire suppression system. This is a sprinkler system. What about the fire extinguishers? The scope of the fire extinguisher is the placement where we have to put our fire extinguishers. How to use them, how to maintain them, how to test them, they are working or not, and how to train people how to use them. We have to do employee education about them, about general principles of fire extinguishers use. Upon employment, if rule or requirement change and annually, this means we have to do an orientation program for the new employees, how to use them and how to stop the fire. And not only on employment, but only it should be a regular thing. We can do it monthly or quarterly or mid-yearly or even at least once annually, how to use them. We have to inspect them and maintain them and testing them. Portable extinguisher is inspected every 30 days. But nowadays, we are doing it every 30 days. Some healthcare facility will do it every 6 months or every 3 months. So we have to have a periodic testing and maintenance for them. So we make sure that they are working. And of course, we have to have an annual maintenance for the fire extinguishers to make sure that they are working properly. General requirement. The employer shall provide portable fire extinguishers and shall mount, locate, and identify them so that they are readily accessible to employees without subjecting the employees to possible injury. As I said before, we have to enumerate them, know the location of them. The location must be correct according to the practice guidelines or according to the rules of the civil defense. How many, what kind, where I have to put them, and we have to inspect them periodically, and we have to test them periodically. From this picture, if there is any problem, you can see it. I'll give you seconds to 15 seconds. If there is any problem here with the fire extinguishers, particularly, the answer is yes. We can sew two long steel bars on them, on the fire extinguishers. So if you want to use it, you have first to remove those metallic bars, and it could be very heavy to you. You can ask another one to come to help you. It will take a lot of time. So it's wrong. We have to report an OVR that something is wrong here. Should be no obstruction for fire extinguishers, so we can use them simply in case of fires. What about inspections? It's important to do it. Dates must be recorded all over the extinguishers. We have to have a tag. The tag on the fire extinguisher will say that what kind of material inside it, when we did the last inspection and maintenance, and when would be the next inspection and testing for the fire extinguishers. So you have to do it very carefully. As you see here in these pictures, you have to inspect all tags of them, and this is the job of the safety officer. How to select them and how to distribute them. The fire extinguishers are selected and distributed based on the class of anticipated fire here. What kind of fire you are anticipating in those areas, you will select the type and the amount of the fire extinguisher in that place. For example, you are anticipating here in this area a fire because of wood or paper or something, you have to put a specialized fire extinguisher that can fight them. If it's because of fuel, you have to select the extinguisher suitable for it. And if you are anticipating electrical fires, you have to put the fire extinguisher that is suitable for it. What are the different types or kinds of fire extinguishers? We have the most common 4 types. Number 1, all-purpose water, fire extinguisher containing water. Or number 2, carbon dioxide, 3, multi-purpose or dry chemical, and we have the dry powder. Each kind of them is specific for a specific type of fire extinguisher. Let's discuss them in brief. All-purpose water fire extinguisher used for class A fire, and it's pressurized water. It's only water under pressure. When you push the blanker, it will give you water, and the water will stop it. This is an example of the class A fire, or the all-purpose water fire extinguishers that we can use for class A fire. We have the carbon dioxide fire extinguishers. We will use it for class B and the class C fire. It's hard plastic nozzle, no pressure gauge. This is the carbon dioxide, which is a very, very common, the red one, but you have to look at what's written over it, carbon dioxide. We have the multi-purpose dry chemical. We use it for class A, class B, and the class C fires. It's a fine powder under pressure, and we have pressure gauge present. This is the example of it, dry chemical extinguishers, or ABC fire, or ABC fire extinguishers. All healthcare setting, we have to do what? Fire in healthcare setting are never good. You have to know those concepts very well. Any fire inside a healthcare facility, it's not like any other way, because you have sick people. You have different kinds of people. You have different kinds of conscious people. You have different type of like visitors. You have families. You have workers. You have patients. The results are very catastrophic. Any type of fires is threatening the people inside and even the property inside the healthcare facility. Need to protect the patient and employees from the serious hazards of the fire. Use of the defined in place concept. We have a concept in healthcare facility that we have to define in place. We have to fight the fire in place. We have to look at our building construction. It should be built according to the civil defense rules. We have to have a sprinkler system working, maintained, patent, detection and alarm system. We have to have a smoke detectors that can tell you that there is a fire that place, and it should be patent, as we said before. We have horizontal movement to the safety. The movement inside the healthcare facility, it's better to become horizontal rather than longitudinal, so it can be simple and we can confine fire and we can stop it. We have to use the compartmentalization. Compartmentation concept means that we have to have zones inside the healthcare facility. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, and we can fight the fire inside one zone, preventing it from spreading to other zones. We have to have a lot of staff training, as we said. Provide occupants with enough protection to enable them to survive a fire while remaining in the building. Supply them with training, supply them with a plan, supply them with maps, supply them with every information about the fire alarm system and the fire prevention system inside the healthcare facility. What would be our strategies? Talking with patient and the families of visitor about fire hazard lead to smoking. This is a defect in our healthcare facility. When the people came to be admitted to your hospital, whatever it's patients or the patient families or relatives or visitor, you have to give them some ideas about fire and how to stop fire and how not to smoke inside the healthcare facility and what to do. This one can be through brochures, can be through videos, through screens. You have to tell them that take care, fires here is very bad, and how can we avoid fire from happening inside our healthcare facility. Assessing smoking behavior, and alhamdulillah, we have now a penalties from MOH and the governance that anyone do smoking inside a healthcare facility, we have to punish him with 200 riyals as a penalty. He have to pay them. Help all staff to be alert to any obstruction for a fire route or exit. Anyone can find the fire route or fire exit obstructed, he have to report to the leadership group and he have to do an OVR, so keep all our fire exits are clear all the time so we can use them in case of fire. Know where the fire extinguishers are located. When you are working in one room, on one department, you have to look clearly on the evacuation map, which is you are here. They are putting on the map that you are here, from where you have to escape, where is the fire extinguishers, where is the fire alarm, where is the assembly point you have to go through it when there is a fire. Recognizing every fire drill as learning, teaching opportunity. If there is a fire drill, don't say it's drill. Don't anticipate that when the fire alarm is working, it's a drill. No, you have to deal with every fire alarm that it's a real fire, and you have to do what's exactly wanted or requested from you in case of fire. And if we do a fire drill, we have to sit after the drill telling what was going right and what was going left and what are the lessons learned, so we will not do it again. What can we do? Recognize the importance of employee education. As you see here, I'm focusing on education. In every single couple of slides, I will tell education, training. Because if you are training your people very, very well, anticipate they are going to deal with any fire anytime. Special focus on use of applicants, equipment, and smoking. You have to have reminder, as we said before. The briefing after drill event, we discussed it now. What's fire protection? Keys to success: if you have a fire, you have to have a clear plan, re-education and practice, awareness of exits and the location of fire extinguishers, awareness and abatement of potential fire hazards. Think safety, not just compliance. Always put the safety concept on the head of your staff. That's safety, safety, safety. Very important issue now, storage guideline. Don't tell me that there is people dealing with the storage they have to concern with. No, nurses have a storage room inside their healthcare areas and the departments. They have to know how to deal with the storage room. Clean room, dirty room, medication room, all of them we put some things inside it, so it's considered a storage room. Rather than the big stores and warehouses, what we have to do with them? No storage is allowed in corridors. Don't put anything in corridors or stairwells. A cultured hallway could slow down emergency evacuation. It can obstruct us from the normal or from the good evacuation plan. Storage must not exceed a plan of 18 feet, which is 45 to 50 inches below the sprinkler system. If you have a shelves or if you have a table, don't put something over it until the ceiling. You have to leave around 50 centimeters to the ceiling because it can obstruct the sprinkler system. As you see here, you have to maintain 50 centimeters from the fire sprinkler. This one will give water when there is a fire. What if you put something here up to the ceiling, obstructing it from giving the water? The fire will not stop. Again, storage guideline, very, very, very important guideline. You have to teach it to your staff, especially staff dealing with stores. All storage must be at least 30 feet, it's around 90 centimeters from electrical panel. Don't put anything clear to the electrical panel. You have to put it away from it 90 centimeters so you can protect the property from fire coming from the electrical panel. As you see here, there is electrical panel, but they put some carton just close to the panel. So if any fire will happen, it will go easily to the carton, then next to table, then to other things, to all the stuffs inside the storage area. This is an improper storage in front of electrical panel, and as I told you, there is a carton very close to it. Again, maintain at least 90 centimeters or 3 feet clearance from heating surface or air ducts or heaters and light fixtures. Anything that can give heat, you have to put your things away from it at least 90 centimeters. Storage of combustible materials in mechanical room is prohibited. Mechanical room have a lot of machines that can give heat. So don't put cartoons and something that could be giving fire. Never put something in there. This is an example. This is some machines in the engine room, and there is some cartoons and some things that can give fire. Flammable and combustible liquids, how can I deal with them? Flammable and combustible liquids are potential for sources for fire and are present in almost every workplace. We are talking about flammable things. It's actually the vapor created by flammable and combustible liquid that ignite and burn. There is some vapor will come from them. It can lead to burn. It's important to understand what material in your work area are flammable and combustible so that you may properly store and isolate them from ignition source. How do I tell what's flammable? How can I know that this thing is flammable or not? It's very easy, I'll tell you. The NFB classification system, they create a diamond. Is an easy way to determine the safety risk associated with hazardous material. To determine a material flammability, refer to the red section of the diamond. A number in this section will indicate you the flammability of this one. I will show you the red one. As you see here, this diamond should be tagged on every single flammable material. Okay, it's divided into 4 areas. The red area, it's concerning the flammability. The yellow area for reactivity. It can interact with other substances or not. The white area for a special consideration, and the blue area for effect of the material on health. So we will discuss it all, but we will start with the red area. The red area, you can find the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, only one number. They will not write anything on this part. They will write 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You have to translate it. Zero means it will not burn. So keep it in anywhere. It's safe. 1 for must be prohibited to burn. It can give burn. 2, it can ignite when moderately heated. If there is moderate heat, it will can ignite and cause fire. 3, ignite at a normal temperature without anything, without heat, it can cause a fire. 4, it's extremely flammable. It can cause any fire under any circumstances. So you will deal with it according to the number mentioned in the red part, red division. This is NFBA diamond. For example, an NFBA diamond on a can of gasoline. We have a can of gasoline. And we found that in the red part, the number 3. This means what? Go to here, it's ignite at a normal temperature. So take care from it. It can ignite under normal circumstances. So you have to give it special circumstances. Simply, this is the NFBA diamond. The red one for flammability, and as we said, 0 will not burn, 2 above 200 Fahrenheit, 2 above 100, 3 it's below 100, 4 below 73, flash point. This is the flash point. I will tell you what's flash point right now. The yellow one is for reactivity. It's stable, it will react with other things. The yellow one for health hazards. It will affect health or not. If it is 0, it's normal. It will not affect the health. 1, slightly hazardous. 2, it's hazardous. 3, it's extremely dangerous. And 4, it's deadly. With the white part, it's talking about special consideration. Is it acid, alkali, corrosives, oxidizers, or radioactive, or none of the above, or don't use water for it? This is the NFBA diamond. It's very, very important. You will find it tagged on the material itself or on the material safety data sheet. Where can I find this diamond? I will find it labeled on the material itself or in the MSDS material safety data sheet. So what's the flash point now? They will talk to you about flash point. Flash point of liquid is the lowest temperature at which the liquid gives of enough vapor to ignite it. It will give you vapor and it can be ignited. So the lower the flash point, the greater the risk of ignition, and the fire. So every time look at the flashing point. If it's low, you have to know that or expecting that fire can occur in any circumstances. Again, storage for flammable and combustible liquids. Flammable liquids must be stored away from ignition sources, away from heat. It should be in cool, well-ventilated area, away from incompatible materials. Limit the amount of them inside the department. Don't put more than 10 gallons in anywhere, except special consideration, of course. What about electrical fires? Is it famous? It's happening. I believe we have one in one hostel a month ago inside Al-Confoda region. Electrical hazards are the cause of numerous workplace fire each year. Factually, electrical equipment or misuse of equipment to product heats and sparks that serve as ignition source in the presence of flammable and combustible materials. Example of common ignition hazards: overloading circuits, use of unapproved electrical devices, damage or worn wiring. This is an example of electrical. What's the most important source of electrical fire inside healthcare facility? Extension cords. It's number 1. For me, it's number 1. Do not allow extension cords inside your department. Extension cords are only approved for temporary use. We can use them temporarily and for something light like a computer or printer or something. But don't use it for anything higher than this or bigger than this. We find in a healthcare facility, they are using it for toaster, for microwave sometimes, for heavy machines. It's prohibited to use it for something like this, and it's better not to use them from the start. When using extension cords, check for the defaults such as frizz, brightness, or broken wires. Never place extension cords in a high traffic area where they can be damaged by being stepped over. Do you accept this one? extension cords with a lot of outlet from it, it's a very, very, very dangerous situation. It can lead to simply. What about multi-plug strips? It's another cause of fire inside our healthcare facility, and the plug is like this. Should only be used for office work, computer, printer, machines. Don't use it for other things. Machines inside lab, inside pharmacy, inside ICU, inside engine room. No, don't use it. Multi-plug strips should have a fuse or circuit breaker from itself, so it can stop the fire when something is going on. This is the what we are talking about. Never use three-prong adapters that allow a three-pronged plug to plug in the two-prong outlet. This is one three-prongs adapter. Don't use it. You have to put the three prongs inside the wall itself. Don't use this one because it's a very important source of fires. Never display chain or biggie back multi-plug strips and electrical coils, plug strips and cords into each other. A common source of fire again. Buildings are designed to prevent fire, heat and smoke from spreading beyond location of organization. Building elements such as firewall, fire dampers, and fire doors are designed to seal off one location from the next. As I told you before, we are designed our healthcare facility as zones or compartmentalization. So we can fight fire in one compartment, not allowing it to come out to another compartment. Containment of the fire and the smoke reduce probably damage and prevent small fire from growing into large fire. We said that we have to do containment or confining the fire in one place and not allowing it to go to another place. What's the fire door? Fire door is a fire that can keep the fire inside one place for a limited time. So in that time we can do anything, and we are not anticipating that the fire will cross this door. Fire doors are designed to withstand fires, heat and smoke for a period of 20 minutes up to 3 hours, according to the type of the door. Did you know that corridor office door and the fire door should have a 20 minutes rating? Can fight fire for 20 minutes. Corridor laboratory doors should withstand with the fire for 60 minutes rating. Fire doors are required to be self-closing. They have to self-close and have a positive latching as possible latch lock as a door in place, so can open swing open freely. This is an example of a fire door. You can open it from inside, just to push it without any keys, push it and go out. When it will be locked automatically, it will swing and close. It will withstand or fight fire or take the fire from 20 minutes up to 3 hours in some doors, so you can evacuate your people, you can execute your plan without being afraid that the fire will cross that door. Maintaining fire barriers. Fire doors need occasional maintenance. As we said, every single part inside your plan, you have to do PPM for it, periodic maintenance for it. Points to remember in this one, in this presentation. Housekeeping issues. Keep our work site clean and free of trashes. Trashes is a very common source for fire. So always keep your healthcare facility clean. Follow paper storage guideline. When you are storing paper, you have to use the the guideline for storage. Flammable and combustible liquids, we discussed it very in details. Electrical fire, we discussed it, and we discussed the compartmentalization concept. When not to fight a fire, it's a very, very important concept. When I have to go and leave the fire, remember to keep an exit to your back. Always, all the time, the exit door is in your back, so you can see what's going on. You can see the fire. You can see people. Do not give the fire your back, never. Only fight the fire if you are anticipating that you can fight it, if it's small fire, if you can deal with it. This is keeping the fire exit to your back. The most important slide for the presentation today is never fight a fire if any of the following apply. Don't have the proper fire extinguishers or equipment. You don't have enough equipment. You don't know what to do with the equipment. Don't push yourself inside the fire. Fire has spread beyond its point of origin. The fire get out from the compartment to another compartment. Your instincts tell you get out. If your mind tell you get out, it's dangerous, do it. Thank you very much. Until we will meet again, we give you here a very brief ideas and the concept about fire, what to do, fire extinguishers, the concept of race and pass. It's very, very important. I believe that inshallah from today you can deal with the fire theoretically, but you have to do some training and practice inside your healthcare facility how to fight a fire. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.